Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to Surfside, California. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. It's a little breezier, it's more overcast. There's definitely a change in the weather here today, and you may hear some microphone malfunctions because of that wind. But I love to come down here. And man, I just saw my friend Steve from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. That just put my day off to a beautiful beginning. Seeing Steve, I'm keeping an eye on him right now, watching to see if that chrome crocodile he's throwing in the surf here is going to get gobbled up by a yellowfin croaker or something like that. Great to be with you. Grunion run here last night. One more to go tonight. You probably want to be at the beach about 12:30, just after midnight, to see the grunion on the fourth night of this current run, and we'll see how that all plays out. All right, don't forget, subscribe, hit that little bell. You'll be notified when there's more content. Share these videos if you enjoy them, and hit that like button. That all helps us so very much. It is quite a bit breezier here this morning. We'll see what effect that has on all of the sport fishing that is going on, and there's a lot to cover with you, so let's delve into it. One observation for you right now: the water temperatures in SoCal and even northern Baja are as cold as they've been for this time of the year since 1985, and perhaps before that. That's as far back as we could go in the recorded history. There is a definite change going on. And if you're wondering why the bluefin tuna bite may be a little bit behind schedule, perhaps it is that cooler water. Perhaps it is that cooler water that's going to open the gate for albacore to swim in here also into northern Baja. And we'll be doing an albacore prediction, another one. Maybe I can go 3 strikes out, right? We'll be doing that tomorrow. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that, because there are some unique observations that we are seeing that point toward, I'll just let the cat out of the bag, point toward an alba year for us in northern Baja and southern California. Will it manifest itself? God only knows, but we're going to watch it for you very, very closely. Long range, the Royal Star had a little bit slower day, but they still have had some magnificent fishing on big yellowfin tuna around Hurricane Bank. The long range scene, since the Royal Polaris was out there, had great fishing, and now the Royal Star with a 315-pound YFT just the other day. So there are some nice fish wandering around, and they have had some outstanding fishing on the Royal Star. All right, let's get into the bluefin tuna fishing. I'm going to start you out down in Ensenada, where Louis Prieto was out yesterday. Louis has a sport fishing operation out of Ensenada, as well as a bar in downtown Ensenada. He's a great guy. It's For Reels, R-E-E-L-S. It's For Real sport fishing in Ensenada. Louis hooked one bluefin tuna out of Ensenada yesterday. He said the pongeros that stayed late in this zone got bit. It's been a later bite in the zone that they were fishing, so that's good news. Some of the pongeros starting to get in on it. Blackfin sport fishing and a variety of other guys that operate down there are starting to get some of these bluefin tuna. Now, it's a mix in terms of the size, but most of that fish off Ensenada seems to be that bigger grade. It's the fish that the Polaris Supreme had the other day. 7 fish, 120 to 150 pounds. The new Loan, 12 fish, all of them over 100 pounds. So there's some bigger grade fish in that neck of the woods, and we're starting to see that even mix in to the local area. When I say local, I'm talking 45, 50 miles for most of the boats. And the day boats are starting to get a piece of it. Were there some misses? Yes, there were some misses. Were there some hits? You darn right. Mustang, limits on the bluefin tuna. Several other boats. Legend had a good day. Several other guys got in on some really great fishing, and then there were a few that missed entirely. So we'll keep our eyes on it for you very, very closely. Once again, 25 pounds seems to work best when you're fly lining in the daytime. A number 2 hook and a good hot bait. You can go up to 30 pound, and you're of course going to be fishing fluorocarbon. www.optionusa.com. Put in FA at checkout, and you'll get a free gift and a love note from Greg Brown. So you definitely want to fish that. The lower profile, smaller profile, I should say, shiny jigs, 100 gram to 150 gram, seem to be working best of all. So you definitely want to take that into consideration. And the guys that leave in the morning, we call those full day trips. They leave in the morning, come back in the afternoon. or evening, I should say. San Diego, 23 bluefin tuna, nothing wrong with that. Mission Bell with 4 bluefin and 4 yellowtail, nothing wrong with that. So guys are getting a piece of it. The Grande was out with 6 bluefin and 1 yellowtail. Kind of hit and miss there for the full day boats. They are under such extraordinary pressure to make a day happen. I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you. They have very few hours. If they zig instead of zag, they're in trouble. Man, my hat's off to them and all these guys who are running sport boats out of San Diego and elsewhere, as they do a phenomenal job. No question about it. Hey, did I toast you this morning and say it's time for the morning briefing? Better late than never. Oh, is that good? Really delicious this morning. So once again, there is plenty of bluefin tuna around. One thing, all those guys that fished in that 45-mile region yesterday told me was that even though they didn't catch as much, they certainly saw more fish than they have seen in quite some time. So it seems like we're getting that influx of fish. We're getting a mix in terms of the sizes of fish. There's that 15 to 30 pound bluefin tuna, but then there's that 100+ pound stuff wandering around also. You definitely want to be throwing those jigs. If you're doing those small shiny jigs, you want to throw those with at least 40 pound, and I prefer 50, and a 2-speed reel with 100 pound, 130 pound on it is absolutely essential, okay? There's a lot of big fish running around. There was some good nighttime fishing last night. Definitely want to fish that with the heavy stuff. I don't care if you look around on deck or look at the guys that are bit and they're all getting that 15 to 30 pound fish. You never know what's going to swallow up your jig. So keep that in mind. And the signal's still very good. Once again, some guys had a fish for odds, some guys below, some guys with limits, kind of mixed up here the last 24 hours. All right, up and down the coast, we continue to see signals of white sea bass and halibut. And our dear friend, Jolene Thompson, doesn't get any better than Jolene. Was on board the Freedom yesterday. She had these photos, and man, that's a nice sea bass jackpot fish. 30 pounds on board the Freedom, fishing out of 22nd Street Landing. Chef Jason from the Amigo with a nice halibut on board that trip. And Marcus Fain apparently was on that trip. Jolene just sent me that photo, and it looks like he was on board the Freedom also. He is a super good guy and fishes a lot. It's always good to see him catching fish. And Jolene, thank you so very much for taking time to send us those photos so we could see exactly what they caught on board the Freedom. They're fishing live squid, dropper loop in many, many cases, and there has been some really excellent halibut fishing in the Channel Islands for the boats like Thunderbird had one yesterday, the Fury had one yesterday. There's a smattering of that fish everywhere, and also some of that white sea bass. Up there on the Endeavor the other day, out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing, they had limits of white sea bass and an incredible hit. And as the water temperatures warm, continue to warm. Remember, we're in this really cold water, historically cold water. As they continue to warm, the bite factor will go up through the roof. It will get more consistent and bite with greater ferocity. It still looks really good on sea bass and also on the halibut. Once again, those white swim baits, those flukes have been working really well also. So nice day on the Freedom yesterday, and several other boats with really great fishing. The Pacific Dawn, Brian Fernando. I saw Brian at Island Fishing Tackle the other day, and he told me he was headed out on the Pacific Dawn out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing. Brian, thanks for sharing those lovely photos. Looks like you had a great time. It was so nice to meet you and your family at Island Fishing Tackle, or to see you there, and I'm so happy you had a great trip. Still, good rock fishing up and down the coast. You can take it all the way down to Ensenada, where Louis Prieto had a bunch of rockfish too. There in San Diego on the local scene, big fish because we're fishing that deep water. Also, Long Beach-based boats, San Pedro-based boats, Dana Wharf-based boats, Oceanside. I'm trying to hit everybody. You get the picture, though, right? Marina del Rey, Redondo, Channel Islands for sure, all doing really, really well with some outstanding fishing. And as we showed you the other day, Marcus was on the Enterprise out of Long Beach and had great fishing. So there is indeed some really good bottom fishing going on, and that is continuing. All right, we do have this little bit of a weather change. I can feel that wind It's cold blowing up against my back. I hope the mic didn't pop too much in this wind, but we'll continue to watch it for you very, very closely. Guys, continue to surf fish. There's a gentleman walking by me right now who was down there, and of course Steve from Island Fishing Tackle is there. Tonight is one more night of the Grunion Run. We'll see if we get some more halibut along the beaches and that kind of thing. All right, my friends, it's always great to spend time with you. Hope you are having a great Sunday morning. We'll be watching it very, very closely for you. We'll keep our eye on that bluefin tuna, see if it's going to bite here during the daytime. Surf fishing guys walking by, hopefully they had a great day. And of course, we'll continue to watch the sea bass, halibut, and everything else. Make sure you hit that like button, share this video, and we deeply appreciate all your great support as our stats have been going through the roof. All thanks to you, my friends. Have a great Sunday. Hope to see you soon. Come on, Steve. Catch one. Going to be too late for this morning briefing, but hopefully Steve will have a great day. Take care, and I hope to see you soon.